This is a workshop meeting today, and we are going to dive right into recognitions of some outstanding students and teachers, I'm sure, and coaches. So we were going to begin with Amy Baker, who's Executive Director of Career and Technical Education. Invite her to the podium to recognize our Skills USA state qualifiers.
Good morning, Board of Trustees. Dr. Rollo, what a wonderful morning to recognize more outstanding students from Lubbock ISD. We had more than 100 students who competed at the state competition for Skills USA. Today we are going to recognize around 60 of those students from various categories. We do have some students that are missing today, primarily for AP testing and for all of their other school events and activities, but we would like to read their names and recognize them. We will begin this morning with our information technology students. Let's start with Xavier Blackwell. Next, Mackenzie Gilbert. Alexander Tamouche. And we have 4 students that could not join us that I would like to recognize: Max Campbell, Tristan Garner, Ryan Hughley, and Caden Jolly. These students are coached by Mr. Brandon Grace. And if we could take a picture with our information technology students.
Third one already.
He was ready.
There he is. One more picture, Xavier. No, he's out of town.
Next, we would like to recognize state qualifiers in animation. This is a skill I will never have. These are amazing students. Our state qualifiers in animation are Emma Hernandez, Jax Laws, Austin Stevens, and Amory Westfall. These students are coached by Miss Brenda Olden. Congratulations, state qualifiers. Congratulations. And if you can tell by their jackets what this next group is representing, these are our state qualifiers in the culinary arts area. We would like to begin with Aaron Bostwick, Savannah Bowman, I thought that was them. Andrew Bustamante, Kyla Castle, Nicholas Fenwick, I believe Jake Haney, who's not here today. Is that right? Okay. Kiava Hines. Yave. Yave. Alexis Hunt. Aaliyah Lopez. Adrian Marino. Grayson Patton. Addison Reynolds. And Macy Van Zant. These students are coached by Master Chef David Gooch. Congratulations. We would now like to recognize our Skills USA state qualifiers in the area of automotive. We'll begin with Rudy Casares. Next, we have Christopher Faulkner. I don't believe Emery Garcia is here, correct? Let's recognize Emery Garcia. Jace Stripling. And we also have Ethan Yoho, who cannot be here today. They have two outstanding advisors that have helped coach them to success, Mr. James Salazar and Mario Guerrero. They're going to make really good money one day and a great career. They are. We would like to recognize our state qualifiers in 3D multimedia or 3D media. First, Hayden Bell. Okay. Edward Hinojosa. Luke Parton. And next we have Zihong Wei. These students are coached in 3D media by Mr. Reed Rollo. I know we have several of our next group that could not join us today, but this is an outstanding group, many young accomplishments. These students are in the TV production category. We'll begin with Riley Bradley. Evelyn Cervantes, who could not be here with us today. Spencer Davis. Testa Fumagalli. Hannah Gilchrist. Tristan Hart. Jude May. Here we go. Mr. Grant McCall. And Grant is wearing his official Skills USA attire because he was elected as a state Skills USA officer, our first time in nearly 2 or 3 decades, I believe. Next, we have Sanaya McCullough. Okay. Andrew Mills. Miss Sarah Rose, who could not be here. And Leah White. And these students have an amazing team of support. They are coached by Kimberly Couch, Daniel Ballard, Ben Lawson, Nathan Edgar, and the whole LISD TV team. Congratulations, TV production. I'd like you to take a good look at these ladies to my left and see if you can try to predict what group they are with. These are our state qualifiers in law enforcement. We would like to begin with Elizabeth Bunyard. Vanessa Carmona, who could not join us. Sophia Gomez. Jillian Gaona, who's not here today. Aileen Guardiola. Avery Gutierrez. Malia Clemish. Treasure Kowina. Danelle McCourt. and Miss Daisy Rojo. Our law enforcement students were coached by Ruben Gastula, Javad Deshone, and Paul Flores. We have one last group to recognize as part of our Skills USA contest, our state qualifiers in the construction trades area. We'll begin with Darian Walker.
Get to shake all the hands now. Good job, Darian.
Tanner Epley. Troy Finch. Kendall Herrera. And Jaden Oliver. These students were coached by Mr. Ricky Martinez, our plumbing and HVAC instructor, and Trevor Hust, our construction teacher. And while they're coming to take a picture, I'd also like to thank all of our parents who support these students as Skills USA qualifiers. It takes a lot of time to prepare for state competition, and we are so grateful to our parents, our families, and our community for helping to support these students as well. If we could give them a round of applause. Congratulations. We are going to take just a quick break and switch out our parents before we go on to our next CTE state qualifiers.
Oh, it's not time to sit down.
Well, they're going to take a break.
That's just Group A.
But wait, there's more.
They're taking a break.
Oh, okay. The old room switch.
Take pictures because I forgot my phone. I would have taken them for you. I was talking to my friend. Okay. Okay. Yeah, no, you're good. Thank you. forget to turn it on. I'm usually cold, but I'm hot.
I'd rather be cold than hot. What about you? Hot and cold? You don't like being cold?
I don't like being cold. You know, and I will tell you what, I'm usually...
Okay, if everybody's ready, Board of Trustees, I am
I'm
excited to
usually
present
like
this
that.
next group of students to you. Lubbock ISD CTU students recently competed in the highly competitive Health Occupation Students of America, or HOSA, state competition. When they competed at the area competition, we had 8 students who advanced to state. I cannot reiterate how difficult the competition in HOSA is. These are outstanding state qualifiers. HOSA is a global student organization that prepares future healthcare leaders by offering leadership development and competitive opportunities for students in health science and biomedical careers. Here are our state qualifiers. We have several that are missing for AP testing today, but I'd like to recognize them. Michael Batista, who could not be here today. Suchi Bhakta. Miss Sadie Callison, who received, I believe, 2nd place at the state competition. And Elizabeth Cude. Not able to join us is Akhil Goraparthi. And we have Selah Harris. Two additional students that could not join us, Maisie Haynes and Nixon Mago. These students have several supportive and outstanding advisors I would like to recognize. Our HOSA advisors for Lubbock ISD are James Hudson, Sarah McMurray, and Janet Copeland.
Someone's tickling my nose. I can't get stuff.
Congratulations, HOSA. We are still going strong this morning. We have another group of CTE students we would like to recognize. These are students who competed at the FCCLA state competition, that is Family, Career, and Community Leaders of America. This is a national association for students in family and consumer sciences, again, that focuses on competitive events and leadership. We're going to start with Mackenzie Middle School, who also had some national qualifiers from this group. Our state qualifiers for Mackenzie Middle School, Jaden Day, Yura Perez, Naima Fuller, Isabella Garza, Can you just imagine being a middle school student who presents in front of thousands of people? It's incredible. Micah Martinez, Anastasio Garza, And Kiela Dicio. These students were coached by Miss Kyle Miller and Kyla Robinson and are all from Mackenzie Middle School. Okay, Mackenzie, if you were a national qualifier, will you raise your hand? Congratulations to all of our national qualifiers. Come on over for a group picture.
Few lines.
Yeah, a little bit.
Congratulations.
Good job, Mackenzie.
Next, we'd like to recognize one state qualifier from Coronado High School in FCCLA, Deacon Contreras. And Deacon was coached by his advisor, Lynn Ware. Let's clap for Lynn.
Step this way. I know it.
Congratulations. We have one FCCLA state qualifier from Estacado High School, Nyela Bex. Nyela was coached by her instructor, Lacey Brammer. Congratulations. We have 3 FCCLA state qualifiers from Lubbock High School. I think a couple are taking an AP test. Abby Love, Maddox Lozano, and Sophia Morris. And don't miss the FCCLA fashion show this Friday at Lubbock High School. We are almost there, folks. We are almost there. Our FCCLA state qualifiers for Monterey High School, we had 7 state qualifiers. Carrie Landell Hodges, Cassidy Laurent. Aubrey Maples. I would also like to recognize those that could not be here: Sarah Metzgar, Ayana Pribble, Aubrey Rodriguez, and Amaya Young. Our Monterey chapter of FCCLA is coached by Jennifer Campbell. And we did it. Thank you for allowing us to recognize career and technical education.
Are we good to move forward? Do we have most? Okay. Thank you, Ms. Baker. We appreciate you being here. It's always great to see those talented students. We are going to move on to recognition of the 2025 Estacado High School boys basketball team. So I'd like to invite Mike Meeks, our Executive Director of Athletics, to the podium for the remainder of our session here.
Remainder, all right. All right, President Bridges, Board of Trustees, Dr. Rollo, thank you for this opportunity to recognize our kids that compete at the state level, or honored at the state level, and excited to bring this bunch to you today. It's we've been waiting on this. This is the bronze medalist, state semifinalist Estacado boys basketball team. And in my experience in athletics and watching these guys play defense and how they play above the rim is simply amazing. If you ever get an opportunity to get out and see them play, you need to do that. But the Estacado Matadors boys basketball team captured the Region 1 4A Division 1 championship at Abilene Wiley on February 28th, 2025. So it's been a few weeks. So earning their first regional title since 2012 and advancing to the UIL state semifinals. In the semifinal round, they faced Dallas Kimball. Very good team, went on to win the state championship. The Matadors finished 31-7. During their playoff run, they defeated Graham 75-38, Burke Burnett 82-73, Seminole 69-53, and Decatur 83-71. And now I'd like to introduce the members, and it's kind of like during pregame, before the game. Okay, number 1, sophomore Andre Langston. Number 3, sophomore Shakur Wilburn. Number 4, Ivan Jackson. Number 5, senior. No, Kendra not here. Kendra Coleman's not here. Number 10, senior Moses Stevenson. Nope. Number 12, senior Kamari Jones. And number 15, Tim Perez. Number 20, Bobby Ross. Number 23, senior Armand Ward. This is Armand Ward, as I just mentioned. Okay, and I want to say this for you. Okay. If you remember the first change we made to our athletic transfer policy, I believe it was November of 2023. We made 2 changes, one last November and then we took the death penalty away, if you remember. And I stood up here and I said, when you did that there was 2 kids that would affect immediately. This is one of them right here, Armand Ward. Number 24, Junior Zarian Robinson. Number 33, sophomore Raheem Hunter. Number 35, Cameron Sherman. Not here. Number 40, Byron Hastings. And then also number 42, sophomore Big V, Vershandrick Smith is not here today. And the team managers on that team, and I don't think they're here today, Charisma Tillman, Janiah Knighton, and student trainer Ashlyn Rickman. Coaches, y'all come on up. Coaches, the head basketball coach for the Estacada boys basketball team, Tony Wagner. Jay January. Yvonne Hargrove. I saved you for last for a reason. Please welcome assistant basketball coach for the Estacada Matadors, but also the new head boys basketball coach at Lubbock High, Jose Perez. Todd's not here. And trainer Todd Faison, he was a part of this. And Texas Tech master student Amberly Ottadell was also there too. Congratulations, guys. Yep.
It'll be like 10 rows.
Photo time.
Photo. I'm like, excellent. Get all these pictures. You're right. Except for unhealthy.
Beth, you'll have to be on the back row because
I know, right? I know.
we'll bring you out a step stool.
They don't want to put me in the front. I'm going to cover y'all. Is he good?
Iris, go right here next to Coach Wagner. And then what's your name? Andre. There we go. Ready?
It's hard.
Hold your certificate up. Go. Ready? 1, 2, and 3. And one more. Looks good.
All right, next up, we'd like to recognize our state qualifying powerlifters from Lubbock High School. The Texas High School Women's Powerlifting Association powerlifting meet took place at the Burt Ogden Arena in Edinburgh, Texas on Saturday, March the 15th. I think Phoenix is closer than Edinburgh. I don't know. But, Coach, I'd like to know how that drive was. So, but anyway, from Lubbock High, a special bunch. From Lubbock High girls powerlifting team, we had 5 Lubbock High students qualify. Avery Alvarez. Isabella Martin. Christiana Ramirez. And Sierra Springer. Sierra was also awarded with the THSWPA Region 1 Senior Scholarship of the Year. And next up is Alex Townley. And they were coached by powerlifting coach from Lubbock High School, Caden Frazier.
Right in front of me.
Goes ready, 1, 2, and 3. And one more. Looks good.
Okay, next we'll honor our All-State kids and academic All-State kids from the THSCA and TGCA, the Texas Girls Coaches Association. The Texas High School Coaches Association recognizes the following students as academic All-State. From Lubbock High School, Faith Ford. She was second team academic All-State. I don't think she's in attendance today, but her coach is Brent Palmer. Gracie Elkins. Gracie is a soccer player. She is honorable mention academic All-State. Haley Olvera. Soccer, honorable mention academic All-State. They were coached by Michael von Edenbecker. I don't know if Coach here. Okay. Next is Emery Fox. I don't think she's here. Coached by Dakota Tiefer Taylor. She was super elite, which is the equivalent to All-State for the THSCA. Next is Madison Pena. Madison was on the super elite team for wrestling. Next is Jackson Russell. He was also on the super elite team for boys wrestling. And they were coached by Richard Leal and Casey Gilchrist, and I think they're both here today. Y'all come on up. Next from Lubbock High is Carolina Hernandez Acosta. She was second team academic All-State in track and field. And then Reese Pena, and we'll bring her back in just a minute. She was also honorable mention academic All-State in track and field. And they were coached by Coach Michael Sparks. Come on, Mike. You gotta get your picture taken with them too. We still have some honor. You want to do the Lubbock High kids first? Mm-hmm. Yeah, let's do because that's all Lubbock High kids. right, from Monterey High School, basketball, second team, academic all-state, Luke Arrington. In soccer, Reese Razor. Reese was first team academic all-state. Next is Giovanni Cardenas. Honorable mention academic all-state in soccer. Luis Mendias. He's not here today. He was honorable mention in soccer. And then Saul Laredo. Soccer, honorable mention academic all-state. And they were coached by head boys soccer coach Simon Hernandez. Josh Davis is boys basketball coach. I skipped you over. My fault. You caught up to that. All right, picture time for Monterey High School.
Everybody take one step this way. There you go. Good. Here goes. Ready? 1, 2, and 3. And one more.
All right, recognition of track and field state qualifiers. 8 Lubbock ISD track and field athletes qualified to compete in the 2025 track and field state meet last weekend at the University of Texas. Took 8 kids, brought home 4 medals, 1 gold, 2 silver, and a bronze. And that's hard to do in the state of Texas in track and field is be a medalist. Not only to score points to be in the top 6. I will say that we have 1 gold medal from a young lady that you've seen quite often that we'll talk about here in just a minute. And then the 2 silver medals, okay, these 2 guys wearing the silver medals, I would just want to make mention before I introduce them, so close to being gold, okay, to the thousandths with the 5A silver medal. And Cedric, golly, you were right there too. Right there too. So it was so close. I wish I had video to show you. But anyway, the Lubbock ISD state qualified track and field athletes are from Coronado High School, silver medalist in the 100-meter dash at a time of 10.30, which I think, Aaron, is that the best? Number 2? School record, 10.30. Alan Gant, Coronado High School. And his boys' head track coach is Aaron Flores. We can do a group at the end with all of them if we'd like. Okay. From Estacada High School, we had a 5th place finish in the 4x1. Competed very well. We have both alternates here today, and I think we're missing 2. I'll start with the 2 alternates. Jatarian Hargers was an alternate. Raydon Sanders was an alternate. Devontae Robinson, he was the first leg. He's not here. James Bozeman was the second leg. He's not here. And Donovan Torres, 400-meter relay, he was the third leg. Then the anchor leg for the relay team, and also the silver medalist in the boys 4A 100-meter dash at a time of 10.56, Cedric Ross. Boys head track coach, Estacada High School, is Reginald Davis III. Which also is a state 5A 100-meter champion, by the way. Right? 5A? 2A. 2A. I've still got some more. I'm sorry, I got distracted. All right, from Lubbock High School.
Don't leave.
From Lubbock High School. 100-meter wheelchair, 5th place. 400-meter wheelchair, 5th place. Please welcome Isaac Montoya. And boys head track coach at Lubbock High School is Hank Simler. Jeremy Morrison. Jeremy Morrison. 6th place finish in the high jump, in the 5A high jump at 6'4". Please welcome Jeremy Morrison. All right, come here, Reese. I had the opportunity to drape the medals on these kids at the state track meet, and you've seen Reese up here for 4 years, long time. And I told her when I draped her medal, I said, we're gonna miss you, and we are. Okay, you've done a great job representing yourself in Lubbock High School. So please welcome bronze medalist in the 3,200-meter run and state champion in the mile run, Reese Pena. And the girls' head track coach at Lubbock High School is Michael Sparks.
Okay, everybody.
Reese, if you want one, just for your coach. Yeah. We'll do whatever you want.
Guys, go ahead and come on. Come on over to. What do we need to do? Back to the coaches.
We want everybody to come out. We want everybody to come out. Do we have everybody? Maybe so we can get everybody. Yeah, I think that'd be better. Go in front. Go in front. Okay.
Watch the cords down there, guys.
We are going to take a short break just because of all the activity. It is 8 a.m. close, and we have need for a short break. So we will reconvene in 5 minutes. right, it is 8:05 a.m. and we are reconvened. Before we continue, do we have any members of the public who have signed in to address the board regarding a posted board agenda item?
We have not.
Okay, we do not, so we will move on to the workshop portion of our meeting, and we will begin with another important topic. We recognize a lot of students and saw some great things from our students and the teachers that pour into them. So now we get to look at how we help those teachers and what we can do with our health plan. So Lisa, please take it away.
Yes, thank you, President Bridges, Board of Trustees, Dr. Rollo. This is one of the start of presentations I'll be presenting each month to the board in our efforts to be transparent and provide information about the health plan and planning for 2026, as well as the current plan for 2025. Maybe. Just 1 second. Oh, okay. Sorry. Apologies.
Okay.
Here we go. What did you hit? I apologize. Okay. 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 We'll start with the second slide. Now that slide is a summary of information annually. You're familiar with it in board operations. You usually see it this way for each month to month, year to date. But what we thought we would do is provide information comparing year over year, maximum claims loss liability, and then the maximum claims loss ratio. And you can see we're just through February of 2025. Our claims loss or maximum claims loss ratio, we want to be 87% or less. And that's a good goal for a Lubbock ISD and large health plans because the other percentage covers other fees, zero copay clinics, and those sort of things. So we want to keep our claims under 87%. And then here's our health claims, health plan projections and costs, comparison year over year. Again, you see similar information during the board operations meeting. We put in 2023, 2024, and 2025 trending. You can see where we're at and how it's increased a couple million or more each year. Again, projected versus maximum, what it came in at the end of the year, as well as year-end trending. Keep in mind, as we've mentioned before, 2024 claims are still coming in, so you'll see that number continue to change. Annually, we have done a survey starting in 2021. We didn't do one in 2022, then we did one in 23, 24, and 25. This is a survey Mr. Rodriguez and I actually started when I first came to the district as a way to get employee feedback about their concerns regarding the health plan. So we're going to show you some slides on that and go from there. So first thing we want to talk about is the number of responses. So we had 778 responses this year, 491 teachers, 133 paras, and this is up by 79 for this year compared to 2024. A little bit more participation. And then you can see just the coverage elections report and reason for no coverage elected. Some general information we've tracked year over year, but wanted to provide that to you. Of the respondents under the coverage elections report is those that divulged what insurance they have chosen. We did see a basic HMO increase this year overall by a little over 400 compared to the previous year with the changes we made this year in the health plan. One of the things that we've asked every year is a few questions about how are they happy with their choices, the doctors here locally. So here's some information from 21, 23, 24, and 25. Staying pretty much close to 75%. They're happy with Lubbock ISD's network of doctors and hospitals. One of the reasons we choose a network plan is the network, Blue Cross Blue Shield, those plans are national plans and they have more access for employees. So 75% give or take every year. Easy to find a doctor or hospital is also in the 80s, which is pretty good. And then ease in care, happiness with choice of doctors, again in the 80s there. Nothing significant to report in changes therein. Here is a graph also of, this is extrapolated directly from the survey. We've asked employees year over year what they expect to spend in the year or what they've spent to date on health care. You can see the majority are $0 to $500. And then there's the 501 to 1,000 and so on. That's information, I think, useful as we go down the road of premiums and deductibles and those sort of things. And there we have a response compared to year over year. You can see in 21, we gathered more information as years went on, as we learned a little bit more about our health plan and our employees' choices. So you can see there consistently the higher percentage has been those that's $0 to $500, and then a little uptick in 501 to 1,000, and then the 1,001, 1,500, and so on. So that gives us some ideas of what the employees have spent or will or expect to spend over this next calendar year. And as a reminder, our benefits year is January through December. This is a question we've consistently asked also since 2021, and it's about the one most important thing to the employee regarding their health care insurance. And cost of health insurance premium, as you can see, the 40.4 blue is the cost of the premium per their paycheck. And then the second highest at 33.3 is out-of-pocket costs. How important it is to you that the district maintains lower premiums deducted from your paycheck. As you can see there, extremely important, 54.4, very important, 18.1, and important is 17.1. Not at all, very minor percentage there. We'll see that on the next page, and not applicable. You'll see some numbers as not applicable just because some people, we wanted all employees to fill out the survey, whether they have the insurance or not, and get their feedback. So some of those will be not applicable. And again, here is the year-over-year comparison in reference to indicate the one most important thing regarding insurance. You can see it changed a little bit from out-of-pocket from 21, 23, and 24 to premiums out of my paycheck is 40.4% for 2025. And then out-of-pocket costs were 33.3%. And then the second question, how important is it that the district maintains lower premiums deducted each month as opposed to higher deductibles? And again, you can see 89.6% is the paycheck, the monthly deduction, the premiums is the most important. And while we're here, I want to pause just a minute as we go through this to mention that as a district, in other districts, there's different ways to approach healthcare. We've talked about it extensively before in the board meetings and the board operations meetings. And so the district here has really focused, based on employee feedback, about the premiums being deducted and a higher deductible. Other districts or like a TRS or other companies may choose a little bit different model where they have everybody pays a higher premium to cover the cost and a lower deductible. The district's approach currently has been, in my expert opinion, has been that listing one to the employees that they want less out of their paycheck, but also those that utilize the plan are going to pay for their care based on meeting the deductible. If I go to the hospital and I have to meet a deductible and I still pay the same low premium, I'm going to pay out of pocket. But if Mr. Rodriguez doesn't, he's just paying the premium. So I'm going to ultimately pay for any care that I have, as opposed to other districts may choose everybody pay a higher premium to help cover everybody else, whether you're using the plan or not. Does that make sense? Okay. Then our next question that we've had every year has been, do you feel the zero office copay clinic services is an important benefit? And you can see overwhelmingly 85%, yes, our employees really like the zero copay clinics. And you can see the answers to that same question year over year from 21 to 25. Overwhelmingly, they've always enjoyed the zero copay clinic. And again, we know the zero copay clinic allows our employees and their dependents who are on the health plan to get care with no cost for an office visit and some minor tests. And as a reminder, we We just closed the bidding on the zero copay clinics. This year will be the 5th year, and so we closed that on Monday, and we'll be entertaining those bids for the zero copay clinics for consideration for next year. How important is it to you as an employee that the district maintains a wellness program? And you can see there it's important, extremely important, and important and not at all important is a 14.3. Indicate the important components of the wellness program. You can see the free, no-cost wellness screenings are very important, as well as the premium reduction each month. As a reminder, our employees receive a $50 reduced premium for participation in the program. This year, they would have several things they have to do in order to get $50 off a month their premium for next year. And again, here are these questions. Now, we started this question in 24. So you can see there our employees, right, 77 to 78% feel like the wellness program is important to them. And you can again see the free no-cost wellness screenings or premium reductions remain top on the list for satisfaction or what they like about the program.
Lisa, what do you have to do to qualify for the wellness, I guess, the discount?
Yes, sir. There's several things. You have to enroll. You have to do a health risk assessment yourself. That gives you feedback on some areas you need to focus on. You have to do a number of classes, 500 to get 500 points, and or you can put in there you had your eyes checked, you had your annual screening, those sort of things. Then you also have to complete a wellness screening. You can do that. We offer those. They're already set up actually for this year, where we partner with IA Wellness, and they come in and do a blood draw and do free screenings on weight and height and waist circumference and BMI, and that gives employees feedback. If there's an issue identified, maybe the high cholesterol or something like that, the employee then has to complete certain classes in order to get that credit. Okay. And that all has to be done by November 15th in order to get the credit for 2026. Okay. We also have interim measures in place for new hires, trying to afford them some credit too, if they're hired in August or July or August, so that our new teachers, our new paraprofessionals also get an opportunity to, in a short period of time, to get credit. And then we also, if you're hired in October, November, December, we grandfather you in, but an expectation you participate the next year. What the wellness screenings, just a quick plug on that, is we know year over year, I get the report of so many I can't count of things that have been identified in those screenings that have prompted further care and interventions, from cancer to diabetes and all those sort of things. And that's important. The screenings are important. Our employees have also gave us feedback that they really use this as their annual screening, as kind of a trigger, if you will, is if my blood work comes back okay, all that's okay, I'm probably doing okay. But we have great partners at IA Wellness, and if I had a blood test result that triggered something, they have nurses, they have dietitians, those sort of things.
Cool. Thank you.
Lisa, just to follow up. Oh.
No, go ahead.
And so if, say, my cholesterol's high in the screening, and so then there's some education classes, I think that's mostly online, you can take, but that's at no cost to the employee, correct?
Yes, ma'am, that's
Right.
at no cost.
It's
They'll
all
also help them get a referral if they need a referral
Yeah.
to a healthcare provider for further testing. They'll counsel them on diet, exercise. Another important piece of the wellness program is our diabetic benefits program for our diabetic employees and their family members, because it's also the diabetic wellness program is open to all members of the health plan. They have to do very specific things, track their exercise, get a dental check, an eye check, all sorts of things, and we reimburse our employees up to $2,500 a year for diabetic related costs to help them stay well. We know that's important for management of their disease and keeping them on track, and we have very good participation in that program also.
And has that credit or reimbursement, has that gone up since that plan began?
The diabetes wellness, yes, it's gone up every year. A couple years ago, we expanded it. It was for just adults, and then this last couple years, we had some folks say, you know, I have a teenager, I have a adolescent, or even an elementary school age child that recently diagnosed with diabetes, and so we've opened it up, And so we've received really good feedback for that.
Yeah. But the amount of money
Oh, the amount of money, it's around $35,000 to $40,000 a year. So
that we spend.
we
yeah.
spend, we reimburse our employees for those expenses. So that could be certainly the glucometers, their medications. We've reimbursed for diabetic-specific shoes before, visits, eye doctor visits that are specific for diabetes, dental visits, those sort of things that relate all to diabetic care. We reimburse for that.
I knew that some of those medications have gone up this year 1,000%. And so I wondered if we had adjusted what the employee would be eligible to receive. And so that we can offline that.
Sure.
I just was curious.
Sure. We have not adjusted that. The diabetic medications have gone up and down, obviously, and we all know the stories about those Ozempics and those sort of things and how that has shifted diabetic medication use for other reasons. And as a reminder, we bid out the health plan, and part of that is the prescription drug plan. So that certainly will be a focus for this coming year.
Yeah. Specifically, insulin is what
Insulin,
I've been
yes.
reading so
Yes.
much about. So.
Yes, ma'am. And as another thing too, there are some medications, diabetic medications, metformin, that are on our zero copay clinic prescription list that they can get for no cost.
For type 2.
Yes, but of course that's based on the physician's expert opinion and diagnosis and prescription. But there are even some zero copay medications related to diabetes on our list.
Good.
That they could get. So.
Because we
Real
know
quick
that.
question. You mentioned that there were steps that they had to take and a timeline, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
For the program. If they miss any of those steps, what happens? They're not in compliance.
They don't get credit.
They don't get the
Yes,
credit.
ma'am.
Okay.
Yes,
Just
ma'am.
wanted other folks to
Yes,
know
ma'am.
that.
Yes,
I think
ma'am.
That's important.
And Eye Wellness does a great job of
Letting them
multiple
know.
reminders. We're all shaking our heads right on those things. They really, really do. And we've, as I mentioned earlier, we have already scheduled the wellness screenings at every campus that begin in July. And we started them in July because that's easy for a lot of people that aren't in school. Their teachers aren't there yet. The paras are not there yet. So we opened up, we're going to do it at Coronado this year for about 2 weeks so that we go to every campus, almost every campus during the school year. But this is also, if you want to get it done before school starts and you have a little more free time to do that. Takes about 10 minutes at the most. So.
Well, I commend you all for doing this because we know the long-term cost of the health plan is reduced when we are
Yes,
proactive like this. So good job
Yes,
on
ma'am.
continuing to promote that.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
That's important. Thanks, Lisa.
Yes, thank you. One of the things we also asked about was a fully funded plan. This is a new question for this year. As a reminder, again, we bid out the health plan this year. It's early. We can, we don't do that. We don't have to do it except every 5 years, but we went ahead and bid it out this year and asked for proposals. That closed Monday. So I have mounds of boxes. Rick saw those mounds of boxes of all the proposals that we received. But we asked the question about fully funded plan. A fully funded plan would be something that the board would not have control over. It'd be like a TRS plan or something where we engage with them and they dictate the confines of the plan, and they tell us what the premium is going to be, and that's it. And so, but with that, you would not have the option of of wellness credits or zero copay clinics or those sort of things. And so we asked about that. We asked if that's something, and would it be something you're interested in with a lower premium and a lower deductible, or a possible higher premium and lower deductible? Overwhelmingly, our employees said no. They did not. They weren't interested in that. Again, here's the details of what it asked. Again, it was just the first time question here. You can see 590 of those 75.8% said no. They would not recommend a fully funded plan at this time. And then we asked if there was an interest in lower cost plan but limited choices of care providers. So if that was available, that would be a lower cost to them, and if they were interested in that plan. And there was some interest in that. That's going to be based on our bids that we receive and options that we receive. The next slide tells you sort of the difference. It's about half and half. So excuse me, some were very interested or extremely interested, very interested, and or interested. So overall, interested was 46.5%, and not at all interest, 45.2%. So it's an area we'll explore with the proposals that we received, and that closed Monday. And again, that was a new question for this year. So we did allow our employees to provide comments or statements, and I went through those, and there were many, and tried to kind of trend them, pare them down, and get those to you so you had some idea. So there was some misperception that we are a state plan, or we could Texas Tech plan, or we're able to combine with other districts. You know, a few years ago, we looked at, was there an opportunity? I think Dr. Rolo had us looking at, is there opportunities to look and combine with other districts? It's really difficult. We're an independent district, and we take on their risk, and they take on our risk. So it's a little bit different, and there's not a lot of interest in that at this time. Of course, consistently lower premiums and deductibles. Monthly premiums are not bad, but lower deductibles. Don't mind the premiums, just deductibles lower. With the question about narrow plan, where it could be just very specific, a lot of comments of, we still want a national plan, and I think that's a lot because people sometimes have to receive care outside the Lubbock area, and or they have kids that are in college elsewhere, those sort of things. Lots of comments about the zero copay clinics, keeping the copays on the HMO. Several comments about pay raises, keeping up with premiums and those sort of things. Prescription drug coverage, again, zero copay clinics. Dental coverage, some liked it, some didn't like it. Bring the HSA back, and I know some of the board members were here when we talked about that before. You cannot have an HSA and a zero copay clinic. There are IRS rules on that. So that, you know, based on feedback we've received over the years, and after we had to eliminate the HSA, the feedback on the zero copay clinics is keep those, as opposed to the HSA. Don't limit choices. Eliminate wellness and gyms at the campuses. Remove wellness altogether. Keep wellness. So that's sort of a synopsis of those comments. Any questions so far? I'm trying to go fast. I know y'all been here a while. We also, when we sent the survey out, we also provided to all the employees several things. We provided them with a timeline of when I'll be presenting, so they'll maybe be able to tune in and or look at the video later on. We provided them with the possible premiums for next year that the board had split for this year, as you may recall, and I'll show that in a minute. And we also provided some information comparing plans over plans, which I'll show in a minute. But you can see here, here's our timeline of what we're doing to, that includes requests for proposals, zero copays, surveys, those sort of things. And then employee education. Last week I published an FAQ based on the comments or questions in the survey. A follow-up that was sent to all employees on May 1st that provided some additional information, combined 24 and 25 questions in a benefit FAQ, so if they had questions on that. I've already had a couple calls, so that was good. And ongoing meetings, you can see, we can check off, we've closed the RFPs, that closed Monday through the procurement process, but we're analyzing that, and what I'll be bringing forward over the next few months is information about those bids. And then board final proposals will present at the workshop on the 14th of August, and then on August 28th, the recommendation for this upcoming school year. As a reminder, we have to do it a little bit early because we have to publish all that information, get all the plans changed, and have open enrollment ready for October. And then go from there on education. Moving on to the PASA premiums, we wanted to reiterate this did go out with this employee survey, just making them aware. We said possible because ultimately it's the board's decision on whether to continue with the other half. So the 2025 premium is there, and then the 2026 premium, that was the other half added in. And that does not include the wellness credit, and that does not include our 391 separate. So this would be what the 2025 premium is what the employee pays now without the wellness credit. The 2026 is the proposed or possible premiums. Again, as we discussed last year, and the board opted to split those in half. So this is the basic HMO plan, employee only, children, spouse, and family.
So the 2026 number includes that other half that we
Yes, ma'am.
kind of
Yes, ma'am.
deferred if we choose
Yes,
to.
ma'am,
Okay.
it does.
So for the employee children, oh, sorry.
No, go ahead, I can go back to the.
Yeah, it was like $61 or something more for, right, for employee and children, and doing math in my head, which is always dangerous, but 27 or something for employee only. Okay. Thank you.
Yes. So that's the basic HMO. Then, sorry, I'm hitting the wrong ones. I apologize.
Sorry, I messed you up.
And then there's the basic PPO. And there's the Premier PPO. And as a reminder, the Premier PPO is a special plan that has the special prescription carve-out that's a $100 deductible. And as a reminder also, all plans allow all members, employee members and their dependents, spouses and children, free access to the zero copay clinics. All members, employee members, wellness opportunities. All members, including spouses and children, zero copay prescriptions, EAP, you name it. So the last thing I wanted to visit with you about, and it's this page. This also went out to all the employees as part of that attachment during the survey. And what we did, and the board reviewed this previously in an operations meeting, we compared just the basic plans best we can, because remember, we're not comparing apples to apples, because the district's option has been listen to the employees, they want less out of their pocket premiums, as opposed to everybody covers the cost and a lower deductible. So we did our best to compare Lubbock ISD, Lubbock Cooper, Friendship, and TRS Active Care. And so you can see the premiums there. So this would be our basic HMO plan compared to their comparable one. Again, every plan has their own little nuance to it. So if you're looking at, for instance, the first one, employee only, basic HMO, that's with the $50 wellness credit. And again, I want to point out, the district contributes $391 a month per employee for funding of the health plan. Lubbock Cooper contributes $325, Friendship $350. So our employee only premium right now is $72.50. Lubbock Cooper is $147.34. That for an employee over a year's time would be close to $900 more a year out of their paycheck. They do get a lower deductible, but that's $898.08 more out of their paycheck. For employee and children, ours is $139. You can look at Lubbock Cooper, it's $501. Compared to Lubbock Cooper, if we did that plan, it'd be $4,344 a year more out of our employee's paycheck. Spouse, you're looking at a difference of $25.69 annually out of an employee's paycheck compared to Cooper, and family $65.66 annually more out of an employee's paycheck compared to Lubbock Cooper. Again, not saying anything about their plan, just comparing premiums only from that perspective. From a Friendship perspective, you're looking at employee only, $49.99, $57.54 annually. On the employee and children our employees would pay more out of their paycheck annually. Employee and spouse, $53.43 more annually. And employee and family compared to Lubbock Cooper, $6,244 and some change more out of their paycheck. And then lastly, compared to TRS, I think it's important that we look at those numbers based on our employees' feedback about the premiums out of their paycheck. I think it behooves me as the executive director to make the difference just in that. So if we did TRS, it would actually be less for an employee only. It'd be about $198 annually less for the employee. But when you go to employee and spouse, it'd be $4,842 more out of the employee's paycheck. Employee and children, $2,760 more annually out of the employee's paycheck. And employee and family, which is a lot of our folks, $7,458 more out of the employee's paycheck annually. So dialing that in, I also want to make a point to talk about the additional things that the district provides, because it's part of the whole health plan, right? And obviously, y'all know my role. I try to bring all the options to you and to provide the best. So we have zero copay clinics. The board has had that for years. The previous director put that in place. Zero copay prescriptions, low and no cost prescriptions, EAP, all those sort of things that total up additional to the health plan about $3.8 million. So that's a lot.
Yeah.
Is there any questions, things I can bring back to you?
Not at this point, I guess.
Okay. So
I don't have any other questions about what we currently have in place. It will be interesting to see what the bid process flushes out.
So I can report that the bids closed on Monday at 2 o'clock. So we bid out the zero copay clinics. This is our 5th year, so this is for 2026. We had 2 bids submitted, so we're currently vetting those. And then we also closed the medical, prescription drug, and dental bidding proposal process at 2 o'clock on Monday. We've had quite a turnout for that, about 8 or so from that perspective. Some that have been our partners and some new. So those boxes, as I said earlier, Rick saw those mounds of boxes in my office. Marsh McLennan and I are starting our process. We've already talked about some this week and meeting next Friday. So over time, I'll continue to bring back information on where we're at with the health plan and what those proposals are looking like, and go from there.
Can I ask one more question, Lisa?
Yes.
The 2024 claims, I know you said they're still coming in. Is there an end point that those, or they can trickle in for?
They can trickle in for a year.
For a year. It's
and
a 1 year.
Actually, last year we received one from December of 2023.
So it's a year after the date of service.
After the date of
so
service.
we can still have
Yes,
some
ma'am.
pretty significant bills
Yes,
coming
ma'am.
in. Okay.
Yes, we do. It's hard to determine so early. Right now, we have data through February where we're at.
Yeah.
Remember last year in February, we were already filing our first stop-loss claim because we had claims over $350,000. And we have to have stop-loss insurance as a self-funded plan. So we're hopeful and prayerful about those claims, and most importantly, our employees being well and their family members. We always remember that there are people. These are people, our family members behind these. So we talk a lot about numbers, and I don't want everybody to think that that's all we do. I know that's not what you do, and I know that's not what we do in risk management. So we try to balance and help our folks get the best as they can for their care, and we field questions day in and day out. So happy to answer those, send those folks to us, and we try to help them with any of those questions that they have.
I want to commend you guys for all the good information, starting this early, giving lots of opportunity for people. I assume the workshops are also recorded and posted online.
They
correct?
are.
So
they are.
somebody can go and watch this and understand with plenty of time to think about and ask you questions. Well, great job to you guys.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much.
And Lisa, I want to commend you for your outreach. We had feedback that people were caught off guard last year, and so I can certainly say that I don't think anyone can say that. We've been very transparent and out front, and Lisa has made a lot of campus visits and tried to educate, and I want to commend you for that. Thank you.
We made great strides this year by you doing all that, so
thank
you
you
so much.
Thank you.
One last question. Did we have a new platform last year for the employees to choose their plan, or did am I thinking about
No,
something
ma'am.
else?
We actually we changed in 21 or 22. We partner with First Financial Group, a platform. They've been our partners for years, and it's no cost to the district. So that's a benefit that an employee can go and do all their things, because remember, not only do we offer this, we offer options for the employee to enroll in disability insurance, life insurance, all sorts of other things, ambulance service insurance, all sorts of things like that, hospital indemnity.
The helicopter.
Yes. And so, and I just want to highlight some of the questions. I got a question yesterday from a new employee that says, I need to establish a provider, personal provider, a primary care provider. And so I looked at them, and they had the PPO plan. So they didn't have to do it because they're on an HMO plan. HMO plans, you have to designate a primary care provider because they manage your care. And I said, well, we have the zero copay clinics. You can go there. You don't have to meet your deductible. and get your primary care and center the flyer. So those are a lot of the things that we're trying to, frankly, avoid that cost to our employees. If they can go there, their primary care provider can be there, and they're not having to work, because the PPO, you have to meet the deductible, which is $5,000. So we try to help navigate those questions and answer those questions to get the less cost out of our employees' paychecks or their pockets, to try to help them, as we know times can be tough. Yeah. Awesome.
I could
Anything
say
else?
one other thing, that I think it's important for us to keep in mind that health insurance is a very personal thing, and so each person has a need, and so when we're trying to put something together for 3,500 employees, we're not gonna hit the mark on every single one of them, because it's a very personal thing. I may need more prescription coverage, and so I want that, but others may not and want a lower premium. So in all of this, we want to recognize, and I commend Lisa for talking individually to people that have called and said, hey, I have a question. Here's my personal circumstance. How do I best utilize the plan? And Lisa and her team spend time sitting down with them and saying, okay, tell me, if you're willing, tell me what you're doing, what's going on, and then, okay, let me guide you as to how you can best utilize our plan. If our employees would just take advantage of that, I think we would see a lot more satisfaction. And it's time intensive for her team to do that, but they are engaged in that, and I just want to acknowledge that our employees have a good opportunity to take advantage of somebody who can advise them very well on how to best utilize a plan to meet their personal needs, so that I hope our people continue to take advantage of that.
Our own resident expert.
Yes.
I have a great colleague I want to mention, Vaughn Murphy. So she's been here 27 years, so she's a great historian and we love helping them. And we really enjoy the new grads coming in, new teachers, and they've always been on their parents' health plan, and they have all these, and they bring their computer, and we love to do that. So please encourage people to reach out to us. All right. Any questions?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Lisa.
So you're saying there's hope then for my adult children to one day get health insurance? Is that
There's
what
always
we're
hope.
Don't hold your breath.
Thank y'all.
Good job. Good job.
All right, we will transition to the 2025-2026 budget presentation. Dr. Wilkins, we'll let you get set up and give us some news. News.
All right. Good morning, President Bridges, Board of Trustees, Dr. Rollo. So it's been 9 business days since we last had a budget presentation, and there's already been changes. So we're back at it again. And, I'm going to draw your attention to So down towards the bottom on the 26th of June, we're going to be adopting a budget. And then on the 28th, we will adopt our tax rate. So just want to draw your attention to that. It's kind of backwards, but that's how it works with TEA and the state. So we have to follow those timelines. All right. So we did receive our preliminary values since last time I met with y'all. And from the preliminary tax values, they're up 1.8% from the 2024 certified values, which is a positive thing. We show slight growth in that. That's great that we show a little bit of growth and not excessive growth. So moving down, we did adjust the ADA just a little bit from last time because we are starting to see things settle a little bit towards the end of the year. The last numbers you were getting were at the end of the the third 9 weeks. Sorry, I was going to say 6 weeks. Third 9 weeks. And so as we close into the end of the school year, our attendance is starting to settle, and we're starting to see how things shake out. So I had to adjust that a little bit, and we'll know more as the coming weeks and the end of the year approaches. This has also changed just a little bit from the last time that we talked. Last time I was using our tax rate from last year. This is now, since I've got the preliminary values, I can start estimating what our possible tax rate will be. I stress estimating. It's not exact yet, so we have to understand that this is a moving target. But this looks at Property tax compression, it looks at all the things that we factor in, and so if you look, it's about a 4-cent decrease from last year. So putting that into the bar graph that we show of our 15 years, you can see that tax compression continues to happen and pushing that tax rate down as we move on. And then we get to our operating revenues. Obviously, it changed just a little bit. We did have a decrease in our operating revenues from last time I presented, and the reason why is we had an adjustment in the ADA. We are now fully understanding how SHARS is going to kind of start to shake out, and so we're pulling that funding out of our calculation also. Indirect cost, TDA hit us with some indirect cost changes, so now we're working through that, so that has all came out also. So that's where we're at. Obviously, these are estimations because we don't have our certified values nor our tax rate yet. So we're working on some estimations right now, but this is the best calculation we can get at the time. Moving forward, so I highlight the tax rate, or the taxes. So that changed just a little bit, and you can see out to the side it is a decrease from previous years. The next line is more to do with your enrollment, your ADA. And then you move on down to the other ones. That's your indirect cost rate and your SHARs and things of that nature that are starting to show us that we're not going to receive that funding. So we got to start factoring that in years coming. Now, moving on to our expenditures. Last time we were down a little over $3 million. We're now at $4.7 million. So things continue to shake out like I told you they would last time. We're looking at budgets as they continue to move, and we continue to find ways to streamline. We keep turning over rocks and keep looking for things. So if you look at the next slide here, you can see where we're actually honing down on the cuts. And so you can see payroll's down a little over $6 million. You can see we're up in contracted services. Now, that's just kind of a nuance that happens. We all know every year contracted services, people charge more for what they do. It's just the nature of the beast. And we're an end user, so we got to find ways to make that work. Then moving on to materials and supplies, you can see that we're up $2.8 million. It's on the next slide. We've talked about it repetitively, but I want to bring it to your attention again. That is mostly that $3 million that we're bringing back that we had in ESSER for that one last time of those computers, that TRE money. And then moving on down to miscellaneous, that's your travel, insurance, dues, and fees area right there. And we're down about $1.5 million, mostly being insurance, but the other part being travel and cutting and reducing travel for adults. And then moving on, this is actually the breakdown of a more honed in look at it, at how it works. So you can see our Durham contract. That's an estimate. It's like I told y'all, the kids haven't got to the bus stop yet. We don't know exactly what that's going to look like, but that's an estimate based on prior year trends of what we're going to look at there. Moving on down to that $3 million, that's the one that I was telling you about. That's that TRE computers, student computers that we're bringing back to the general fund. We were able to defer that and put it into ESSER for a few years. Now we got to bring that back because we don't have that blanket. And then moving on down, we had some employee travel that we cut and property insurance decrease. So bringing all that together, we're currently looking at an $8.1 million deficit. I will stress that this is with current law, okay? I'm not going to stand up here or even sit in my office with my team and try to predict what is going to happen and base numbers on presumed law, because that can get us in a dangerous situation. I can give you what's current, and then as things become law, we can adjust and change at that time. Moving forward, we still lack some things. It's going to be, salaries are going to be moving right up to the very end. And so obviously that's probably going to stay in there even after we approve a budget, because we know the legislature is talking about salaries. So that's going to be a moving target. We're going to keep reviewing our budgetary budgets. I mean, we got to look at things and turn over rocks, and teachers, principals, department heads, they're constantly looking and evaluating how we can be more fiscally responsible. And then food service and debt service will be coming in here pretty quick. As soon as we get our tax rate, we'll be able to for sure calculate our debt service. Food service we just got back, and so we'll be presenting that here pretty quick also. Okay. Any questions? I know that was fast and furious. That's the updates I have. It's only been 9 days, so I wanted to give you just a little bit of information.
So as we start to look at teacher salary and potential increases, when will we see some scenarios and talk through some of those options, just no matter what the state does?
Yes.
I mean, what?
So we currently have received some stuff back from TASB, and so we have some numbers, and we'll start presenting and talking about those very soon in Finance Committee and let y'all start seeing that information. So we've started gathering our stuff and getting ready.
I've got a bunch of questions. I
Yes.
know you're not surprised. First of all, because I think during and we are so grateful to our community for passing at a 2-to-1 rate this bond, and we are very, very appreciative. I think it also, in the questions we were asked in the million meetings that we did,
105.
how much, because school finance is so complicated, and how much misunderstanding is. So I've got a 2-part question. First is, if you'll just help explain for the public, when and how do we get paid? We'll make it really basic.
Okay, so great question. Getting paid is a very complicated area. It's not like we get a paycheck at the end of every month. Most people do, or the first, or every 2 weeks. We don't get that. So TEA looks at our property values, and then they set us up. There's 4 classes. We are a we're payment class 2 based on our property wealth. Okay, it's a matrix, and we fit into payment class 2. What that means is in September we receive 22% of our allotment. Then as we start submitting PEMS data, that starts adjusting. Then October, 18% comes in, an adjusted 18%. Then next month, 9.5%, an adjusted 9.5%. So on, we miss several months there, and we pick up in April, and we receive 7.5% all the way down to August to 15%. And then September the next year, or October, we receive what's called settle up. So it's always a moving target. Even though we set a budget now, it's going to change as numbers change throughout the year. So it's always a moving target.
And that's especially exacerbated in a legislative year.
Yes, ma'am.
Second part of the question is, I think there's a great deal of misunderstanding in the public for good reason. It is so complicated. But many times people say, well, why are you doing a bond election? Because you're going to get all this money from the state, because they're talking about increasing the basic allotment. First of all, do your quick analogy of why that's a completely separate bucket of money than our bond funds. And second of all, what's the best case scenario given laws that have not yet been passed, but just proposals on the table? What would that really mean to Lubbock ISD in dollars, broken out dollars, unrestricted? Because those are two different things.
Okay,
if you don't mind.
Yes, I got a multi-layered answer
Response.
to that. So,
I'm sure you do.
So when you're looking at the 2 buckets, you have M&O and you have INS. Your INS is your bond side, and you can do different things with that than you can the M&O side. Your bond side is going to be capital projects. So your buildings, your renovations, your capital renewal, your HVACs, plumbings, things of that nature. Your M&O side is the side that we can do resources, teacher salaries, things of that nature. You cannot pay for teacher salaries out of bond. It is illegal. It's written in statute. So we can't do that. So people always say, well, why don't you pay for your capital renewals out of your M&O budget? Well, we run about a $240 million budget a year, and if you're going to build an elementary school that's $40 million, it's not feasible.
Right.
So that would be like we asking people to build their house with cash out of their own pocket from a year's salary. It's not possible. So you have to do creative ways to do things like that. With the money the state is proposing at this time. So currently it's been adjusted. It's a $220 increase to the basic allotment, which if you look at inflationary numbers, it should be close to $1,000 increase.
Just to maintain the spending,
Dollar to dollar
dollar.
value. Yes, ma'am.
because of inflation since 2019.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so 200, which 1,000 is really what we need just to keep up with inflation.
Correct.
Okay, just want to make
Correct.
sure I understood that.
And so within that number, okay, within that number are spending requirements. Many years ago, they would give you money and you could choose how to spend it with a few little strings attached. Okay? Now, within the general fund, there are strings attached. Those strings are called PIC codes, program intent codes, and that's how we classify different expenditures. And when we receive the funding, even though it's general fund, it's broken down into those buckets, and we have to spend that money in those buckets. And TEA monitors that. They have a monitoring team that monitors that. So if we don't spend it in those buckets, we get penalized. So the other part, how much money is there? Okay, they're going to give us some money. We have to spend it in those buckets. Okay, that doesn't help our bottom line with paying electricity, water, insurance, things of that nature. Okay, so when you break it all down, the best calculation I can come up to right now is $1 million, $1.5 million, maybe $2 million at the best of free money without strings attached.
Unrestricted fund.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
we are grateful for any help we get from the Texas legislature. We are. But I think there's a misperception in the public that this increase the basic allotment is going to take care, and it is going to be a drop in the bucket to what just inflation has done.
Correct.
Much less what we need when facility studies show a $400 million need, and our voters graciously gave us $290 million towards those $400 million in facility needs. So, but we are not going to be getting enough money really to keep up with inflation, and we're not going to count that money. And I appreciate you being conservative and budgeting on current law, because we saw in the last session that didn't happen.
You don't like to do things until you have the bird in hand.
That's right. So thank you for being conservative, and this is really good information, Dwayne.
Yes.
But in really oversimplified terms, if you bake in a $220 increase to the basic allotment, and without any weighting, 21,000 students, that ADA, I mean, you're still making up less than half of what our deficit budget is as we're looking at it right now.
Correct. You're exactly
So,
right.
To
And
your
that's
point,
what,
it's just not enough.
it's not enough.
Yeah.
And with that current verbiage, 40% of that increase roughly is going to have to go to teacher pay raises.
Right. And that's
Rightly
increasing
so.
from 30 to 40,
I mean,
is that right?
But then that cuts down that money that we can actually use to get ahead with.
Right.
You've done a great job of explaining this in the past, but in your presentation, we talked about the proposed tax rate dropping 4 cents. Why can't we just keep that 4 cents and make up the deficit?
So imagine having a cup, you have a cup of water in front of you.
Would you like to use a water bottle?
Yes. Let me grab my water bottle.
I've seen this analogy. It's excellent.
A great analogy, for sure.
So you have your bottle here, and your bottle is the amount of funding that the school district gets. School district A, B, C, D, it doesn't matter. Okay? The school district gets. So the only way the size of this bottle changes is with legislative action and the basic allotment. Okay? So you ask, why don't we keep our tax rate the same? Why don't we keep it at 90 cents versus dropping it to 86 and generate more funds, right? Okay? The state chips in a portion and we chip in a portion, property taxes. Well, the way it works, we put in our property taxes into the cup. And if we fill it up to here, the state's only going to fill it up the rest of the way. They're going to adjust. Okay? If our property taxes fill it up to the minimum that we can tax by law, that they can press us to, which we do, the state's going to chip in the rest. So, great question. It doesn't benefit us to go against what they're saying and raise that tax rate, because they're only going to chip in to fill the cup up.
So it's a benefit to our local taxpayers.
Yes, it's a benefit to our local taxpayers to do that maximum compressed rate and stay as low as we possibly can. And let the state chip in the rest.
Great. So we passed a bond and our tax rates.
Yes. Yes.
Win-win. Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what we wanted to hear, Chuck.
Yeah.
That's right.
Right. One other thing that came up a lot during bond conversations was about tax appraisals, and you've provided some great data for that. I think we don't control that. That's the appraisal district. But I think we also need to recognize that if those are not done legitimately and keeping in that fair market value, then we get dinged by the comptroller.
Correct.
Not the appraisal district. And
Correct.
so there's that confidence factor that those appraisals have to be fair market value, and that's not something we control, but we pay the price literally if it does not.
Yes, ma'am. You're exactly correct. And there's a thing called a confidence interval with the state, and once the tax values come in, if we're not within that if our appraiser doesn't get it within that confidence interval that the comptroller and the state sets, then we're penalized as a district, financially penalized.
Yeah.
So we have to it's in our best interest that they get within that confidence interval, and that confidence interval changes every year. So that's a little nuance a lot of people don't know. And then when you're talking about taxes and tax rate, we don't control the appraisals, but we're only one small piece of the taxes. You have Lubbock County, the city, water, hospital district, so on. So when we're talking about our tax rate, we're only a small piece of the whole pie.
Thank you. Sorry for all, but this has prompted lots of questions in the last several months. Thank you for clarifying.
Welcome.
Any other questions, trustees? Thank you, Dwayne.
Okay.
Look forward to the next Finance Committee meeting so we can start honing in on some of those, right?
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. An executive closed session will be held under the provisions of Texas Government Code Chapter 551. It is 9:02 a.m. and we are adjourned to closed session.
We're adjourned.
Thank you. Now then.